All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres Anime review. Family, I am so excited. I just finished watching the season 2, episode 1 of Clevatess. Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good. Family, go to my YouTube channel and there is an entire playlist of season 1 Clevatess reviews. And family, I'll say out the gate, Clevatess was my favorite anime last year. It was my favorite anime last year. I mean, certainly for a new series, like in this first season, right? I mean, multiple seasons, like Clevatess is up there with My Hero and Frieren and Solo Leveling. Like all of that was the peak of anime last year, and Clevatess was right up there with them. Oh my goodness. Really quick, family. We're on the road to 200 YouTube subscribers, so if you're watching this and are not subscribed to our YouTube, go to the YouTube, Michael Cameron Live, and subscribe, family. Please help us out. Okay, let's dive right into it because I'm so excited this series is back. So we have an opening scene, right? And it's intense, and I was kind of confused, so I had to go back and rewatch the opening scene after the episode ended. This is foreshadowing. This is what we're gonna see in like 6 or 7 episodes, probably, if I had to guess. But we're gonna see this later in the season. And upon me rewatching the opening scene, that black spire definitely reminds me of the mountain that we fought Clevatess on in the opening episode of the series, right? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Okay. But the opening scene was foreshadowing. Okay, so really where the story picks back up, family, because the season ended last year with Klen saying, I want to teach Luna. I want to be Luna's magic teacher. And so in order to get there, we're basically, among other things, we're going to learn magic at Solsein Academy. I skipped ahead a little bit, but that's the bottom line, family. We had a conversation midway through the episode where Alicia is talking to Klen about him wanting to teach Luna magic, and she makes there's a funny back and forth. He says, hey man, he says to Alicia, Klen does, hey, you're really useless outside of like combat because you're a hero, right? You're a meathead hero. And she replies like, well, hey, you're trying to be a magic teacher, you don't know anything about magic. Klen says, well, I'm gonna start teaching Luna at 3 years old. This gives me 2 years to learn magic to prepare to teach him, right? So in that time, we're attending Solsein Academy, okay? And that's where most of this episode takes place. We'll get there. Right before we get to Solsein Academy, right? Because we were basically at war last season, family. So we're having a meeting between 3 heads of state. And one of them was Bolate, right? They were the great offenders last year. And then we have Queen Tiala, who's representing Hedon, and then I forgot the other guy's name, but he's representing a third country who was involved. And Tiala and this other king, they're basically saying like, hey, well, he's kind of leading the negotiations rather than Tiala. He's kind of saying, hey, Bolate, you're the great offenders. What's to stop us just from joining sides and obliterating you, right? So we're negotiating, and it was intense because the 3 heads of state had their 3 escorts, right? Of course, Alicia was Tiala's escort. We had, like, what was his name? This was a famous swordsman, and he had a big old sword, and he had aura for real. When the tensions rose between the escorts, he hit his sword on the thing, And his king, who this swordsman was escorting, said, "Hey man, this is for the representatives to speak. Escorts, shut the hell up," right? Because Bolate's escort, he was actually the head of the Ravens, and he had smoked for Alicia off rip because Alicia took out the Ravens, right? That was like the first half of last season. So he's itching to fight, but the Bolate King, I think his name was Bay's Words or something like that. He's playing hardball, right? So basically, here's the agreement, family, because I didn't want to take too long on this, but I wanted to give you all the important details. Here's the bottom line. Bolate were the offenders, and so they have much to give up. What we want is access to Drell's magic research, right? Which was happening at Solsein Academy, which is why we're gonna get there. But the king of Bolate, he just doesn't want to like give everything up. So what was it? Right. So we agreed to a 2-year ceasefire. In that time, Hedon and the other kingdom, right there, I think, was it Elson? Hedon and Elson, they have access to go to Solsein Academy, find what they can, and when the 2-year ceasefire is up, they don't have access anymore. Okay, that's the agreement, right? You guys are welcome to do your investigation however you please, take whatever you find, but as soon as the ceasefire is over, we're done there. Okay, now we get to Solsein Academy, and we got a lot of new faces, but Klen and Alicia are there, okay? What I want to say about Alicia is that Klen, because he it's kind of messed up. He can kind of control Alicia's body to a degree because he's keeping her alive with his dark ether. So because we're disguising ourselves to go into a school, he makes her look much younger. She's much smaller. She looks much younger than she actually is, and she's kind of she just wakes up to this new body. Like, what the heck did you do to me? And then it was funny how he flicked her nose in to give her like that Hedonian nose. Okay, but we go up to the school, and while we're walking in, Klen is like, okay, I feel some provocative energy coming up. So who's this behind us? We turn around, we get a bunch of new faces. I'm curious about Edison because he's like the first black character we've seen in this show, but he was extra nervous. I don't know what's gonna come from him. And the girl behind him, dang, I forgot her name. Started with an S, Cecile, something like that. She's gonna be interesting because she had an interesting look in the opening scene. She had like crazy eyes, and I think I'm connecting that to this guy Ray, who we're gonna talk about right now. But his eyes were doing something crazy, right? That's what I'm connecting those dots there. Edison was interesting. The girl behind him was interesting. The most interesting was Ray, right? Right before we saw Ray, we saw twins, and they're high on their own supply. They're really they think they're all that in a bag of chips, right? So they're like, oh, get out of our way, like hot stuff coming through. And Ray bumps them on purpose, right? Da-da-da-da-da, they back and forth. They're like, all right, well, we can scrap right now. Ray's like, well, let's hurry, I'm trying to get to school. So they use herbal magic, which we saw the leader of the Ravens do, right? And they create basically like an after image whirlwind, and they think they're gonna jump Ray. Ray says herbal magic is so old. This is that new, and this is the closest thing to ancient. Was it Torah magic or something like that? Which Klen's ears perked up because that's exactly what he's looking for. But Ray put BTA on these twins, and the fight was broken up, and we're going to class. I mean, that's basically how the episode ended. But so Klen peeped Ray, but the last scene of the episode was Ray peeping Klen back, right? And then you connect that with the opening scene, family. Oh my goodness, like, because the opening scene is basically Klen saying like, hey guys, like, come at me, bro, to the whole school basically at once, including Ray. So family, I'm sorry, I couldn't even get everything I wanted to say in this review. That's how much I love this show, and I'm excited for more. But all praise is due to the Most High, family. Peace and love.